welcome to Senior Savvy. I'm Jane Wells, your host for today's show. Senior Savvy is brought to you by the Oshkosh Seniors Center, where it's our mission to enrich the quality of life for adults ages 50 and older. And I have with me in the studio today two guests who definitely help to enrich the quality of life: Mark Zemer, Center Manager, and Jeff Lethan, Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center Board President. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Jane.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. So, let's see. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself personally, not necessarily non-center associated. Let's try that.
This is my 6th year as being on the board, ending my 3rd year as president. My term is up, so I'll be stepping down for 2016. But I've enjoyed my time. I've certainly enjoyed working with the staff. You have a wonderful staff, and probably more than anything, knowing for a fact that the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center have made an impact in our community with assisting with programming and the wonderful activities that the Senior Center offers.
Great. Okay, so now for the personal stuff, which is what I was trying to go for. Yeah. What do you like to do in your spare time?
Summertime is, I guess, the time that I enjoy. You know, there's the valley and the state offer such great opportunities, camping and boating, hiking. Wintertime is a little different. I'll have to work on that one.
Not a big downhill skier,
no.
Right? And Mark, share a little bit about yourself with us.
Well, my title is Senior Services Manager, and we'll get to all that later. Personally, happily married for over 30 years. What are we at now? 32 already.
Have to think about that.
Yeah, I have to do the math. 3 incredible kids. The oldest 2 are married, the youngest of whom is graduating UW Oshkosh in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, wow, yes, exciting.
3 grandkids, and I always describe myself as faith, family, and work. And what everyone's going to hear about at the Oshkosh Senior Center is the 3rd part of my life, which is as much fun and fulfilling as the first 2 on my list. So,
which is awesome. Not everyone can say that about what they do for a living. So, Jeff, you talked a little bit about your role at the center. So, just in case somebody is not aware, what is FOSC, or what are the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center? So, your role as president, what did that all involve, and things like that?
The role that the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center plays is to help, I guess, promote it, and to also do fundraising and kind of backfill Mark's budget a little bit, or assist in that. Probably a lot of people don't know, but, and you might touch on this later, but the Oshkosh Senior Center is a city entity, but it's not fully funded. And our role in that is to assist in help raising more funds to provide the quality program that exists in there.
I always like to point out that it's not my budget. It is the Senior Center budget, just to make the public clear on that.
How about the city budget?
The city's Senior Center budget. And I will echo and emphasize that the tax dollars, local tax dollars, do go to support about half of that, of our entire budget. So the Friends, the county, and a number of different, probably if I separate out on my budget, my matrix sheet, 8 or 9 different sources of funding that helps make up that other half of our total budget. The Friends portion of which is the largest piece of those other sources. So we wouldn't be doing what we're doing without the Friends.
No, exactly. The Senior Center would not exist. So tell me about being a friend. What does it mean to be a friend? Is that the same thing as a membership, or how, tell me about those words.
There is no membership. You know, a lot of people have that misconception that you have to be a member. To be honest with you, over my 6 years on the board, the terminology of friend, granted you're a friend, but you're more than that. A lot of people have the misconception that they get the current mail to them, and that's their only benefit to it, and it's not. Being a friend or a supporter or a financial donor is the key aspect. We have to fill holes in budgets, whether it's the city or whatever. Our role is to help raise money, and to do that we need supporters, which I like a little bit better than friends. But you become a friend. If you think about the friends that you have in life, it's someone that you count on every single day, or if you're in a bind, you make a phone call and that friend is there for you. That's where we are. And those friends help support the center.
Right.
You know, from a simple donation every year, or coming to a fundraising event, knowing that it's a fundraising event, and opening your wallet,
yes,
and helping support the center.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I would like to challenge everybody that's listening right now to think of the Oshkosh Senior Center like they would other things that they support. Realize right now, once and for all, that we do not get all of our money from the city, and we need your support. We need your financial support. So as you're writing out checks at the end of the year, or whenever you do that throughout the year, keep the Senior Center in mind. The difference that we make in people's lives, which you're going to hear about in the next 20, 30 minutes, we enrich, we involve, we connect people, and we enrich people's lives as they grow older.
You know, much like the telethons we see on TV and some of the fundraising
right,
programs, you know, the Friends is a non-profit organization, so the dollars that you do donate to us are tax deductible. You always need to check with your tax advisors, but we're an entity other than the city, private, and our sole purpose is providing funds back to the center, which means none of the board members are paid. 100% of what we do goes back into the center one way or another.
And I think that's a really important point to make known, is that there isn't, you're not getting paid as the president of the Friends Board or anybody else. 100% of it comes back into the center and into programming and things for seniors. Okay, so the Oshkosh Senior Center serves people ages 50 and older. So does that mean I have to be over 50 to be a friend?
Oh my gosh, no.
Definitely not.
No, you know,
right.
Children can give their grandparents a sponsorship just so their name is in there. Memorials can be made, but no, I guess anyone at any age can be a supporter or a friend. We'll call it a friend.
Exactly.
But, you know, that support is what we're looking for, and stop in and just walk through the buildings. It's a great place. There's a lot of activities going on, and they're great.
And I think as more and more people start to age, and we all know that that's coming down, that the baby boomers are all going to start to be of retirement age, as a community, we need to have resources for people available. And it doesn't start, you know, in 3 years or 5 years or whatever when we're at the peak. It is starting now and building and ramping up and getting the Senior Center positioned to help people who are newly retired, and we know there's going to be a lot of them. So there is a trickle down to the community as a whole. So it is beneficial for everybody to become involved in this and to help all of our community to age well. Is what we're hoping for.
Since we're talking about age, I want to quickly add that as in my role and in my conversations and discussions with staff, we are purposefully planning and laying out a plan to serve people who are 50 until they retire. So we're talking about people becoming empty nesters, people starting to anticipate their retirement. And then when they reach that milestone, then what? Well, if we've already engaged them, and Jane, you and our other staff have been wonderful at special events and evenings and weekends and bringing that audience in a little bit. But I'm here to tell the public listening, I hope in no longer than a year. We don't have a timetable yet, but we will be looking at expanding some hours to engage people who are at different stages of growing older, so that when they finally retire, it feels like home already.
Right. And I think that's important to realize, is that, you know, again, Senior Center can have somewhat of a feel to it that until people actually walk in our door, you know, I can't tell you how many people in their 70s have said, I'm too young to come to the Senior Center. But when you come in the door and you see what there is to offer, we're really a wellness activity center for people over the age of 50. You know, it's not just bingos and cards, as we have said in the past, but really it's to help grow and to educate and to help people age healthy. So like you said before, Jeff, there is no membership fee to be a part of the center. Anybody can come and use it over the age of 50. If they're an Oshkosh resident, or even if they're a non-resident, they pay a slightly different user fee, and our user fees are roughly $1.25 or $1.75 or $2.50 in the fitness area. So anyone can come, and there is no membership. You can come at any time during the year. Can you, if you want to be a supporter, can it only be during the months at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, or can you do that any time of the year?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I guess if the budget, your personal budget doesn't allow for it, you can wait till mid-year or whenever. No, we certainly welcome any donations at any point of the year. Currently, right now, we're right kind of in the middle of our annual appeal that we do every single year, where we ask folks to make that contribution, to think about what they can give and what the center offers. And you know, you made that comment about the activities that are there. More than anything, you know, invite these people to come in and just watch the friendships that have grown. And I guess in my time, I've seen, you know, I don't spend a lot of time out on the floor and things, but the times that I do and some of the meetings that I go to, the camaraderie and the friendships that have formed over the years, it's amazing.
And the connections that people make, exactly. So Mark, you want to just talk a little bit about who comes to the center? There really isn't a typical person.
No, there isn't. We've already mentioned that we start at 50, and we go, that the high-end age is as long as you're able and interested. We just did celebrate a 90th birthday from one of our line dancers, who, she didn't look like she was 90. She looked like she was going to go strong for another 5 or 10 more. And each individual is attracted by their own interests or their own needs, because as you grow old, it isn't always fun and games, which we have a lot of. But sometimes it's somebody coming in for a support group or an educational topic that they just need to know something more about because they're wrestling with some aspect of growing older that they aren't prepared for. So
and that kind of does lead right into our next topic: is who does the friend donation support? Or, you know, if I'm a supporter of the Oshkosh Senior Center, where is that going? And we're going to kind of show some slides that address, you know, where your money does go and what we use it for. So, so these are some of the things that money at the Oshkosh Senior Center, when you donate it, are used for. So in our programming, we incorporate the 7 dimensions of wellness. And that, of course, is a philosophy that you need a balance in all these different areas of your life in order to be truly healthy. And that's really what we shoot for. So we shoot for, each month has an emphasis on one particular aspect of wellness, but then we rotate throughout the year. But there are also programs every month that feed into all of the dimensions.
I personally, when I go out and talk to groups in the community, and I do this to myself, I challenge myself and anybody of any age to balance their lives around these dimensions. Because if we're overemphasizing work, that never happens. Then we're out of whack. We need to keep all of those things. We need to keep learning. We need to stay physical. We need to volunteer. We need to do all those things, and we try to emphasize those for the people we're serving.
All right. So we also have a variety of things for people to be involved in terms of arts and crafts and handicrafters. And Jeff, what do you think of the basket weaving class?
I can't say that I have much experience in there. I've stopped in, watched what they do. It's a group of people, and you go back to your slide before where you talk about those 7 dimensions, about just getting together and mingling and social. More than anything, it's a good camaraderie that's going on in there.
I want to emphasize, you know, you said basket weaving. I've always said, if you think they're making funky little baskets, they look like Longenberger baskets. Not to be a name dropper, but I know my wife
they're beautiful
has shown
baskets.
Me they're incredible. The things that people come away with are phenomenal out of different classes we do.
And we are so fortunate to have very qualified instructors who, you know, truly artists and very creative, and are interested in sharing that passion and that talent with the people who come in. All right, so another area where where your support goes to is exercise and fitness.
Incredible different, you see them in front of you. I won't read them all to you, but a wide variety of fitness classes. But the 2 bottom ones, Tai Chi and yoga, some of the more unique ones, but just really popular. And if you've never line danced, for a full hour, it's a workout. And then in and around all of the classes, just to stay physically active, there are any number of topics around physical activity and exercise and the kind of things we need to continue to learn. And we're going to touch on one particular one in some of our new programming later in the program today.
All right. So another area in which the support is really helpful is in health and wellness. And of course, that's a key component to aging well. So we offer a variety of things that are specifically targeted towards health and wellness.
Our foot care has been a strong program for years, and people continue. We got a great partner with Valley Visiting Nurse Association, and they provide the nurses that come in. So you do have a registered nurse who's providing that care. But there's chair massages and different, again, a variety of topics, different classes. The same nurse comes in and does blood pressure checks different times of the month. And
we have Dina Mayer from Aurora coming in to do a Healthier You, and Eric from Walgreens Pharmacy doing monthly medication reviews. So a lot of different areas in which people might have questions. We try to bring in experts in the field to help sort through some of that stuff, navigate through some of those health issues. And of course, a big key component to healthy aging is the social, cultural, and educational aspects of what we offer.
Book clubs. Hey, we play bingo. We sure do. It's a game that a lot of people love. Want to highlight one middle on the left hand is the chorus. We have such a wonderful chorus and director right now. Huge group. They have fun together in practicing, but they get out really often throughout the community and just came off of our incredible Christmas concert, over 200 people, standing ovation. They have fun themselves. People love listening, and some relationships happen even within that group. So,
a little love relationship recently happened within there, and 2 people got married. So it's kind of neat.
Soup lunches, history classes, monthly movies. A lot of opportunities.
Exactly. And of course, another key component is volunteering. Without volunteers, the Oshkosh Senior Center would not exist. We rely heavily on volunteers, from the Friends Board and helping with fundraisers or co-chairing fundraisers, to working at the front desk, to helping us with setups, to baking cookies, you name it. We use volunteers in just about every aspect.
I like to kind of refer to them as an army of volunteers.
Yes.
When we had we recently had a very successful spaghetti dinner back in September, I believe. Yeah, September. You look at the success to that, and it's because of volunteers. Many of those are friends, or they're supporters that come in and do above and beyond. But when you look at working at the desk and the soup luncheons and any of the fundraising programs that we have, it's a great opportunity, once again, to be able to socialize and to mingle with people, but to give back to the community.
Sure, exactly.
Here's another challenge I throw at the community groups I speak to. I don't expect everyone to volunteer to be a board member and to make that level of commitment like you've made, Jeff. But there are any number of committee opportunities around a certain event or certain project that might take 2 or 3 or 4 months, as opposed to a 2-year commitment of once a month or twice a month at a minimum as a board member and an active participant that way. So anybody listening because everybody listening does have something to give, whether you're admitting that to yourself or not. And come on board and get involved, because what volunteering can do for your heart and your mind truly enriches your life, and it is one of those 7 dimensions that you need to keep in balance.
So let's talk a little bit bigger picture now. So not only do we benefit seniors who come in our doors, but how does the Oshkosh Senior Center benefit the community at large? Because we really actually do have a big impact on the whole community. And Mark, you want to share some of the ways in which the Senior Center and the community are well integrated?
Well, to start with, I will list and talk about some of our partners. The Technical College right next door to us, we partner together, and they rent some space from us because their campus isn't big enough, and they have classes for older adults, and they use our sewing room and our wood shop primarily for a variety of classes that they offer. Lutheran Social Services also rents some space, but they, in terms of adult day service, which expands the kinds of programming that we do to people who are caregivers. As I grow older, if I stay healthy and my spouse is not as able to be as active as I am and needs some care, well, I can bring her to the adult day service program, and then I can run over and hop in the fitness center and maybe do work on a project in the wood shop for a half a day. We can catch lunch together at our meal site, and I can even catch a card game after that, and she can spend all day there. And I know then that she's being taken care of while I'm able to meet with some of my friends and meet some of my needs. We work extensively with the university, several different departments, interns from some of those departments, projects with other departments. In the past, we have opened doors, well, certainly the county. Second to the Friends of the Oshkosh Seniors Center is the Winnebago County and the ADRC, the Aging and Disability Resource Center, and their financial support of the center. So they are, you know, city first, Friends second, county third in terms of level of funding. As well as they bring in their benefit specialist and some of their other employees to help people weed through that overwhelming challenge of what benefits am I eligible for and how do I access them and how do I make those choices. So.
And again, you know, for the community at large, you know, definitely we offer intern opportunities for university students to come and learn and to get field work. Also the high schools, we work very closely with the high schools and have them in volunteering aspects, but also in educational aspects where they come in and teach. So, you know, we do have tentacles out into the community to have more of a presence out there. All right, so we're going to move on. We only have about 5 minutes left. So we're going to kind of do what's new, what's coming up at the Senior Center. So let's talk a little bit about that. Well, this is an ongoing program, Senior Connects. In the past, Oshkosh North community students have come to our site, to the center to work with seniors one-on-one. As we move into 2016, that program might look just a little bit differently, where maybe seniors are going to the students, but either way, we're still going to have that intergenerational aspect to that program, which is critical. We also have evidence-based programming. Mark, do you want to touch on that just a little bit?
We've had a variety of success in the powerful tools, stepping on. Those have been some standard ones across the state for a number of years. The one I'll emphasize briefly is Stay Smart. This is, as it references on the slide, was based on a program from the Veterans Administration. And we've had a gentleman who has been wonderfully helpful with staff to pull off and modify this program. We're now in our second session, and the outcomes and the stories we heard from that first group were phenomenal. People who began exercising and really looking at the nutritional value of what they were doing, blood pressure improvements, getting off of medication, losing weight, and
truly making lifestyle changes that have significantly improved their health. It's amazing.
Incredible difference.
Yeah. And of course, new in 2016 is we hope to incorporate some brain health programs into our programming as well. Winnebago Senior Tours, variety of travel opportunities there, whether it's going locally to the PAC or Tasting Milwaukee. They also have an Alaska trip coming up that is just about full. And a trip to Florida.
Hey, Jane, just a real quick, there's a couple sneak things that I can let out of the bag here. Smoky Mountains, maybe in September, the Apostle Islands in October. Some great trips that are coming up. The folks in Winnebago Senior Tours do an awesome job, which is part of the Friends, but they do an awesome job and great fees. Very affordable.
Yes, wonderful trips, wonderful options. All right, and then Mark, if you want to quickly touch on rentals, please.
We have incredible rooms if you've never been in our buildings. Our Willows rooms are the premier rental spot. Right on the water, beautifully appointed, carpeted meeting rooms. For a one-time use, weekly use, whatever kind of need you might have. As it says in the slide, give Sarah a call and ask her about rates and what arrangements we can make to show you what we have available, and it helps bring a little income into our place too. So.
Right, exactly. All right, so we probably are wrapping this all up right now. So if I want to become a supporter, how do I do that? How do I know we have our
I have a couple props on my table. First one,
wonderful.
I wrote a check, and this is my support to the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center for 2016.
Thank you.
And you know what? A couple more props are buried underneath here, but if you look at a couple simple things, Jane, the first one is a what?
A quarter.
It's a quarter. That's my donation to the center. A quarter a day. A simple quarter a day can make a difference. Everything that we've talked about. If you can't afford a quarter a day, a simple
dime,
a simple dime a day can make the world of difference. And that's what I'm really encouraging everyone to make the commitment. A very small donation can go a long way. And when you look at what the current offers, the opportunities, the wonderful programs that you guys put together every single day, that's what makes the Oshkosh Senior Center work.
Awesome. So if I don't by chance get the appeal letter in the mail, either pick up a current, which has the form that you can fill out, right, to become a friend and a supporter. It's at hundreds of businesses throughout Oshkosh. Otherwise, pick up the phone and call, right? And we'll kind of get you directed where.
Or better yet, stop in and take a look at what the Senior Center does.
Right. And of course, the Oshkosh Senior Center is located at 200 North Campbell Road in Oshkosh. And our telephone number is 232-5300. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on and sharing a little bit about becoming a supporter of the Oshkosh Senior Center and what that means to us, to individuals who come to the center, and to the community as a whole.
I thought this was a 2-hour program.
I know.
Okay. Thanks, Jane. Good job.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching Senior Savvy. Please consider becoming a supporter of the Oshkosh Senior Center, and we'll see you next time. Happy holidays, everybody.